Chosen One reveals life-changing secrets in special live session. A never-before-seen spiritual revelation that shatters reality and awakens your true self. I never thought I'd be telling you this. Not here. Not now. But something happened, something so profound, so unreal, that keeping it a secret is no longer an option. And you, yes you, were meant to hear it. This isn't just another video. This isn't some generic spiritual pep talk. What you're about to experience is a once-in-a-lifetime spiritual transmission that could rewrite everything you think you know about yourself, your purpose, and this entire world. And I know how that sounds. Wild. Overhyped. Like some kind of clickbait stunt. But I promise you, I wouldn't say it if it wasn't absolutely, mind-shatteringly real. Because last month, during a quiet dawn meditation deep in the mountains, cut off from technology, people, even language, I had a live encounter with the one they call the Chosen One. Not a myth. Not a symbol. A living, breathing being of impossible presence. And in one blazing moment, he opened my inner vision to something so vast, so intimate, so beautiful and terrifying at once, it changed me. Forever. But here's the part that shakes me to my core. Before he vanished, he told me you would be here. Not metaphorically. He described you. Your inner restlessness. Your hunger for truth. The pain you carry that no one sees. And he said, when I speak these secrets, live, now, you'll remember. Not mentally, but soul deep. So, are you ready? Because this journey is unlike anything you've seen. It's going to start fast. Then it'll burn. And then, if you make it to the end, you will know why you were born. Let's begin. 3 days before the encounter, I had reached my breaking point. I had everything you're supposed to want: fame, influence, even spiritual credibility. But inside, I was falling apart. Something was missing. And I couldn't name it. I'd wake up with tears on my face for no reason. I'd smile in public and feel like I was disappearing. So I walked away. From everything. I turned off my phone. I left the city. And I went to the only place I had ever felt small enough to hear the truth, a remote cliffside monastery, cradled in the misty arms of ancient Himalayan rocks. The monks didn't speak. Not in the way we do. Their eyes carried thunder and silence. Their chants felt like time itself pulsing. But even here, among the ghosts of a 1,000-year tradition, I found no answers. Until the third night. It was freezing. I couldn't sleep. I walked outside barefoot into the snow, breathing hard, my skin burning. And then, I saw him. He was sitting in lotus, shirtless, eyes open, but not blinking, as if watching across centuries. His hair floated in the wind like a banner of stars. And I kid you not, I knew him. I didn't know how, but I knew. As if he'd been with me in every dream I'd ever forgotten. My mouth opened, but I couldn't speak. He said only this: "You are finally silent enough to hear." Then he lifted his hand. And time stopped. The snow paused midair. My breath froze before it left my lips. My thoughts dissolved like mist. And in that infinite stillness, he began pouring something into me, not words, not ideas, but knowing. I collapsed. When I awoke, he was gone. But next to me in the snow, carved in flame that didn't melt the ice, were 5 symbols. I didn't recognize them, not at first, but later, I would learn. Each symbol was a life-changing spiritual secret. Each one was meant for you. You see, he didn't give these to me to keep. He gave them to me to give. In this live session. To anyone ready to receive. And now we reveal the first. I call it, the Mirror of Fire. Here's what it means. We think we're afraid of failure, but that's a lie. What we really fear is seeing who we truly are. Because if you ever truly saw your soul, your raw, infinite, blinding essence, it would burn you alive. Not from pain, but from recognition. You would realize you're not the person you've been pretending to be. Not the wounded child. Not the achiever. Not the victim. Not the sinner. Not the saint. You are the flame behind it all. And here's the kicker, your suffering? It's not a punishment. It's a disguise. Life dresses you in pain to protect you from how bright you truly are. But now, in this moment, you're ready to undress. To face the fire. To look in the mirror. So I ask you, right now, wherever you are, can you feel the fear rising in your chest? The tightness in your stomach? That's not danger. That's your soul standing up. Look in the mirror of fire. Not with your eyes, but with your courage. Who are you, without your past? Who are you, without your name? Who are you, without your fear? The next secret builds on this. But before we go there, you need to know this. At exactly 3:33 a.m. the next day, I received a vision. Not a dream. Not imagination. A hyperreal, multidimensional surge of symbols, sounds, and silence. And in the center of it, was you. Not just watching this. You were the one speaking, standing on a stage, radiating light, holding the same symbols I saw in the snow. And your voice, your real voice, was calling others to remember who they are. I woke up screaming, tears pouring from my face. Because in that moment, I realized, you are not just here to watch this story unfold. You are here to finish it. But for that, you must unlock the second secret. It's harder, more dangerous. Because it requires losing something you've clung to your whole life. I'll share it with you next. But I warn you, it will shake the very core of your identity. And if you're still here by then, you'll never be the same. He burned my identity to ashes, and I thanked him. When the fire of truth touches your skin, it doesn't leave scars. It leaves freedom. The second symbol revealed to me by the chosen one was more terrifying than the first. Because it wasn't just a concept. It was a death sentence, for the false self. We spend our lives building who we think we're supposed to be. Layer upon layer. Roles. Labels. Achievements. Wounds. And one by one, we wear them like armor. But here's the horrifying truth, that armor is also a prison. The second secret is called, the disintegration of the mask. The night after the first transmission, I sat alone on a stone ledge, still trembling from the mirror of fire. The wind was howling, and I could feel something ancient rising inside me. A voice, maybe. A presence. Something I had tried to silence my entire life. It asked me a single question. Are you ready to lose everything you think you are? I didn't answer. But I didn't run, either. That's when the disintegration began. I saw a version of myself, confident, strong, wise, the one I used to show the world. But then, I watched it crack, like porcelain hit with a hammer. Then came another version, more vulnerable, more emotional. It too shattered. Then another, and another, and another. Each self I thought was me dissolved like ash in wind. Until there was nothing left. No name. No story. Just silence. Terrifying, blissful, infinite. And from that void, a voice rose, not external, not the chosen one, but mine, my true voice, the voice behind every other voice I've ever used. It whispered something that I'll never forget. You've never been broken. You've only been becoming. And then I wept. For hours. Not out of sadness. But because I finally felt the weight of everything I had never needed to carry. So now I ask you, what mask are you still wearing? Who are you performing for? If no one was watching, who would you be? Would you still chase the same goals? Would you still speak the same way? Would you still fear the same things? Or would you finally collapse into the softness of your soul? The truth is, you cannot enter the real spiritual journey until you let the mask burn. And burning hurts. But nothing hurts more than living your entire life as someone you're not. The Chosen One gave me one final test that night. He appeared again, not in flesh this time, but as a presence that bent reality. The trees bent toward him. The air hummed. My thoughts stopped again, like a spinning fan suddenly frozen. He asked me this. If I take your voice, your face, your past, and your future, will you still walk with me? I didn't know how to answer. I was shaking. I felt like I was standing on the edge of a cliff, blindfolded, with no idea what lay below. Then he said, "This is the walk of the true ones. No certainty, no guarantee, only presence." And in that moment, I understood the second secret fully. Real transformation doesn't happen when you add something. It happens when you lose everything that isn't you. That's when the third symbol activated. I saw it, glowing, floating in the air, right in front of me. It looked like a spiral folding into itself, and then exploding outward like a starburst. It was called the Infinite Wound. This one shattered me. Because it revealed a secret so few are willing to face. Your deepest wound is also your greatest doorway to the divine. You've been taught to run from pain, to numb it, fix it, heal it, escape it. But the Chosen One showed me something that melted my brain. Every wound you carry was not an accident. It was chosen, and not by some external fate, but by you, before this life began. Why? Because the only way to crack the illusion of separateness is to suffer through it. Your heartbreak, a chisel for compassion. Your abandonment, a gateway to belonging. Your shame, a flame to forge your identity in truth. But you have to face it. You have to walk into the wound, not to relive it, but to redeem it. And I know, this part is where most people quit. Because this isn't comfortable. It's not pretty. It's not easy. But oh, it is worth it. Because once you stop asking, why did this happen to me? And start asking, what is this waking up in me? Your whole world begins to shift. So right now, I ask you, what is your infinite wound? What have you buried so deep inside? You're scared even to speak its name? Is it the grief you never mourned? The betrayal you pretend doesn't still hurt? The failure you let define your worth? Don't run from it. Let it be your temple. Sit with it. Breathe into it. Let it speak. Let it scream. Let it sob. Because on the other side of that pain is the most sacred part of you, your divinity. And just when I thought I couldn't go any deeper, something wild happened. I was back in the monastery, surrounded by silence, when the walls started to pulse. Yes, pulse, as if the whole building was breathing. Then one by one, monks began appearing around me, monks I hadn't seen since arriving. They surrounded me in a perfect circle, chanting in a language older than language. Suddenly, I felt it, my body lifting off the ground. I levitated. Not metaphorically, Literally, I floated. Time stretched. My mind left my skull. I saw through the ceiling, through the sky, into space, through dimensions I don't have words for. And then, I saw all of you. Billions of souls, glowing, wandering, searching. And I knew, each one of you has a wound like mine. And each one of you holds a secret meant for this world. But we forget. And so the Chosen One gave me a mission. Remind them, every single one. That's why you're here. Not because of an algorithm, not because of luck. Because your soul heard the call. And now, we approach the fourth secret. But listen carefully, this one changes everything. It's called, the sacred betrayal. And it's not what you think. The sacred betrayal that revealed my true destiny. I need you to brace yourself. Because what I'm about to reveal, this fourth secret, isn't just life-changing. It's reality-breaking. This secret hurts. But not in the way you expect. It hurts because it opens your eyes to something you've spent your whole life trying not to see. Let me tell you what happened. It was the morning after the levitation. I hadn't slept. My body was exhausted. But my spirit, it was on fire. Like lightning had struck every cell and replaced it with purpose. But then, just as I was basking in that divine energy, it happened. A message slipped under the door of my room. No sound. No footsteps. Just there. I opened it. There were no words. Just one drawing. It was the fourth symbol. And it chilled me to the bone. A blade. Piercing a heart. And inside that heart, a radiant light. The moment I saw it, I remembered something I had buried for years. The friend who betrayed me when I was at my lowest. The one who promised loyalty and fed lies behind my back. The one whose actions nearly destroyed everything I had built spiritually, emotionally, even physically. I had told myself I'd forgiven him. But the truth? I was still bleeding. That's when the presence of the Chosen One filled the room again. Not visibly, but through vibration. My breath caught. Tears welled. I knew what was coming. And I heard his voice, booming and gentle all at once. You cannot walk in truth while dragging chains of resentment. I fell to my knees. I had done the meditations, the forgiveness exercises, the rituals, the prayers. But this was different. This was raw. You must bless the betrayal, he said. You must thank the blade. I shook my head. I couldn't. How could I bless something that almost killed my spirit? And then, the room dissolved. Suddenly I was inside a memory, reliving the betrayal in vivid detail. But this time, from his eyes, I saw his pain, his insecurities, his fear of not being enough. I felt his desperation, his loneliness. And then I understood, he wasn't betraying me, he was betraying himself. And that betrayal, it awakened something in me that nothing else could. My path didn't end there. It began there. Because that pain forced me to let go of needing validation from anyone. That blade pierced the ego, not the soul. And from that wound, light spilled out. That is the fourth secret. The sacred betrayal teaches us that what breaks you, often frees you. But only if you stop resisting. Only if you can bow to the lesson inside the wound. So I ask you now. Who betrayed you? What heartbreak still lingers like a ghost in your spirit? What if you didn't try to erase it, but embraced it? Could you say, thank you for awakening me? Not out of denial, But from divine perspective, could you transform poison into power? Because until you do, that pain still owns part of you. But once you do, you become untouchable. Now, everything that came before, all of it, was preparation. Because the final secret is not about healing. It's about becoming. After that revelation, I walked out into the freezing morning air. And there, standing on the edge of the mountain, was the chosen one. But something was different. He was brighter, less solid, as if he was becoming light itself. He turned to me and said, "Now you must speak, not for your sake, for theirs." I looked around. There was no one. He pointed beyond the cliff. "They are waiting." And I saw it, souls. 1,000, 1,000,000, more. All of them, you, watching, listening, aching to remember. He then revealed the fifth and final secret. It is called, the radiant seed. He said, inside every human soul is a seed of pure divine radiance. It is untouched by trauma, untouched by lies, untouched by time. This seed cannot be taught. It cannot be broken. It can only be activated. And how? Through remembrance. Not learning, not fixing, not achieving, just remembering. That's why you're here. This moment, this story, was not just a transmission. It was an activation. Right now, as you hear my words, something inside you is stirring. A whisper, a warmth, a flicker. That's the seed. You've known this all along. You've felt it since you were a child. That strange sense that this world was not all there is. That you had a role to play. That something was calling you. That wasn't a fantasy. It was a memory. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not lost. You are simply in the process of remembering who you are. The radiant seed is your divine birthright, and now, it is waking up. So what do you do now? You live like it. You speak from your soul, not your fear. You walk with presence, not performance. You act with love, not for reward, but because it is who you are. And above all, you stop waiting. Stop waiting for the right time. The right sign. The perfect peace. It's now. Because you, yes, you, were always meant to carry this light into the world. You are the message. You are the miracle. You are the chosen one, too. This was not a session. This was a ceremony. A divine remembrance. And now, the final words he gave me, meant for you. When the world forgets itself, the chosen ones remember for them. That's what you are now. A mirror. A lighthouse. A seed bearer. So go. Shine like the fire you are. And when people ask what changed you, tell them the truth. I remembered. This isn't the end of the video. This is the beginning of your new life. And if this touched something in you, share it. Not for clicks, but because someone out there is waiting for this seed to reach them. Let's light the sky together. One radiant soul at a time. Awaken the others. They are waiting for your voice,